Welcome to the show. It's Real Talks with Tim Tiger. Where we keep it real, no cherry picking, no sugar coating. We just say it as it is. Today we are discussing about something very important to the country. I mean, that's what we always do, at large. And I'm your host, Tim Tiger. Um, when this thing happened before, I didn't talk about it because I didn't deem it fit. But it popped out on the internet of late, and that's why I deem it fit. I said, okay, let me talk about it. I'm talking about those two girls that were sent out of the NYSC camp because they didn't want to wear trousers. According to them, they say it's what they call fit or something. All right. Before we cut to the chase, I saw something very funny, and the first one was somebody said, then they show these pictures that you're seeing on your screen. There is the skirt, there is the mini skirt, there is the bomb shot and all that. Then somebody else said something, said NYC skirts not enough. I also want bomb shot. NYC bomb shot, that is the one I want to fight for. So you can march, run, crawl, through hoops and run other jungle activities without compromising your slay. Then somebody replied and said NYC rapper for us Igbo boys too. Little breeze on the balls during march parades won't be bad, on the lighter note though. But now let's go to the chase real quick. These ladies want NYC to allow them wear skirts. Now, why I'm talking about this, because I'm seeing something that looks like a protest. All right. Now there is this picture of two girls standing with NYC outfit, but it's a skirt, and it's written, "I'm a female. This is how I should dress as a copper," and they put Deuteronomy 22:5, and let's see what that Deuteronomy 22:5 has to say. It says, "A woman must not put on men's clothing, and a man must not wear women's clothing. Anyone who does this is detestable in the sight of the Lord your God." Deuteronomy 22:5. I've always said something, and I'm going to repeat it again. One of the biggest problems we have in this country, or Africa at large, is that our religious system or educational system only educates us enough to know what we've been told and to utilize the information that has been sold to us, rather than educate us enough to find an information that will help us pass through a situation to get results. In the light of this, we are now dumb. We are not intelligent. We can't figure out things. Rather, we just adopt information, and it's like me telling you 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now, if you ask me how, I tell you my teacher told me. Notice I'm correct, 1 plus 1 is equals to 2, right? Logically, as we all know. But do you know, at times I might need 1 plus 1 to be 3 just to pave way and move ahead. Now, when I get to that situation, I will not be able to figure things out because I am stuck to one information that my teacher said 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. I am not intelligent. I'm just reproducing what I have adopted, and it's a big problem. Like, if I see old men, people in their 60s, 70s, 80s talking somehow, I'm really not moved. I mean, these guys have lived a very large part of their life. But when I see youths, these are youths, people that just graduated from school. They are vibing nonsense in the name of religion, and this is one of the problems I have with the religious system that we have. Now, Deuteronomy 22 says, a woman must not put on a man's clothing. How come we are not told that, as at the time this part of the Bible was written, there was really nothing like skirt or trousers? Nothing. So how did you not just jump into thinking that this was referring to trousers and skirts? And boom, we just stick with that information and we think things are going to work. Whereas it is someone who just suggested that information to us. I don't know whether they put the gun on their head and they are told that this is what God wants of them. Boom. That's how they are living. They are building a future on that information. And you think we are going to survive like this? No. Now the reality is this. What you put on has nothing to do with God. Take it or leave it. Your outfit, it is not God that controls your outfit. I mean, if you believe in God, in the Jew world, no problem. It's not God. He's not interested in what you put on. I mean, you were born naked. If he was interested in what you put on, I'm sure you would have been burned with clothing. What you put on is strictly regulated by people. It is left for you to see the situation and say, okay, what do I want from this situation? This is it. And this situation wants me to put on something like this. Can I give it a go ahead? Yes, give it a go ahead. I don't want to give it a go ahead. I don't want to. NYSC is a body that tells you this is what they want from you. It is left for you to say, okay, can I give it to you just to get what I want from you? If I can, am I willing to? If I'm willing to, go ahead. God is not interested in what you put on. He's not interested. It's not his business. I don't know how like, it's when I think about it, it's funny, it's irritating, it's frustrating. These people were thrown out of NYSC camp because when they were given their trousers, according to what I heard, they went and turned it to skirt. That's an offense. And your religious system, they don't teach you to be law abiding. How did we get here? Now let me explain this real quick using the passage where Christ said, give what belongs to Caesar and what belongs to God to God. I like it will work here. Now listen. If you read that part of the Bible, Christ was working and people came and demanded for tax. And the disciples said, are we to pay tax? He asked a question. He said, if a king imposes tax on the people, who is to pay? Is it the subordinate or the children? They said the subordinate. He now said, let me see the coin. Christ said, let me see the coin. And they showed him the coin. He said, whose head is there? He said, Caesar. He now said, give what belongs to Caesar, and what belongs to God to God. In the light of that, he went and said, go to the river, brought out a fish, and brought out money from the mouth of the fish. It's funny, it's sad how men behind the pulpit use this version of the Bible, this part of the scriptures, to just collect money from people. That part of the scripture applies to life as it is. Your whole life, and I'm going to explain. First of all, he said, let me see the money. They showed him the money. What does money represent? A legal tender. He said, whose head is there? They said, Caesar. That head represents somebody that's in charge. For every part of life, for every phase of life, there must be somebody in charge. You can't take that away from life. Alright? Somebody must be in charge. Then he now said, give what belongs to Caesar, and what belongs to God to God. Now mind you, that somebody is in charge doesn't mean they have rights to do whatever they want to you. Mind you, he said, give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar. It has to belong to him. Listen, it belongs to Caesar. That money belongs to Caesar. Nigerians, now we have our currencies, right? Government can decide that a particular currency is invalid. You know why? Because it belongs to them. You see, life is this technical part of life that you can't just scale through until you start putting your intelligence to use. You have to be very observant. You have to be very analytical. So he said, give what belongs to Caesar. Because the thing is, it is the money Caesar wants because it is his money. So he also could get money from the mouth of the fish. Same here. NYSC is a body. You don't own it. I don't own it. NYSC said, if you must come and be under me for 1 year, this is what I want. These rules belong to NYSC. No, you don't have the right to change it. You can't just be changing it. Although you could ask, mind you. You could solicit, you could request. Because it is not yours. But mind you, the reason they are trying to change it is even invalid. God is not against you wearing trousers as a lady. Deuteronomy 25 has nothing to do with your wearing trouser or skirt. It's funny how we are not told why so many laws came from the Old Testament. And funny how people that claim they are the New Testament, they are Christians, are still running back to the Old Testament. They have no idea of the spiritual effects. I mean, Galatians 3 earlier told us that if you go back to the law, you are detaching yourself from grace. That's assuming the Deuteronomy 25 was even talking about skirts and trousers. You will still not be wrong as a lady to wear trousers. But it wasn't talking about that at all. That part was not talking about a cloth that belongs, that a man has worn, that pertained to a man. Like, as I'm now, then I've worn this shirt. Deuteronomy 25 is saying that a woman shouldn't put on this particular shirt that I have put on. No trousers. Then there were no trousers, there were no skirts, or they were mostly wearing garments and some big clothes that would cover them up. And the reason why this part of the scriptures was written was just to safeguard them, because they were their doctors? No. So God was literally trying to just save them from unwanted situations. So he just gives rules, to just make sure they don't have a chance of being infected, ranging from diseases and all that. But now we are in the New Testament, where you have the freedom to do what you should do, so long you are being wise about it. So it's why at times I wear my sisters wear my clothes. God is not angry. It's just left for us to be, careful. So you see, so these guys were sent out of NYSC camp, and now they are not even realizing their mistakes. They still think, and I just see people that are beautiful, but their brains are not working, and it's not funny. And these are the people that are being called the leaders of tomorrow. Oh boy. May we have a long way to go in this country, honestly. Like a long way to go in this country. There are elders that call themselves those ones in the position they are not doing well. Even the youth that are supposed to be trying their best are not doing well. And you know what forms the basic fundamentals of your mind has a lot to do with your future, because that's where you're going to build your future upon. NYC says you should wear trousers. Simple. You don't want to wear, leave it. Just leave God out of it. You don't want to wear, no problem. I understand the way you don't want to wear. But the problem is that the reason you don't want to wear is even invalid. So apparently you are wasting your time and resources on trying to make what you call your opinion work. God has no problem with what you put on. He just wants you to be safe. It's left for you to check the situation, check what it wants. If you can influence it, okay. If you can't, give it to it and move on. Funny how people still think life is one thing. Life is not one thing. Life is an evolving lesson. That's how the white left us. That's how they just left us. They don't go. We are just still behind. We are still trying, up to date, we are still thinking of how God will bless us with a car, while people have understood that, God has already blessed them with the knowledge, so they are building cars. So when we buy their car, we thank God for it. Doesn't make any sense. We are still teaching our children how to pray and ask for things from God. Meanwhile, others have moved ahead to understand that this thing is at their doorstep. So they are creating, they are building it. Then somebody said, this was so confused on verse 5, when verse 11 states that you shall not wear garments of different sorts, such as wool and lining. Now you see, incomplete information. Meaning, they are saying they want to use polo, which is another kind of clothing, with a khaki is already a sin, judging from their own logic. Now this is hypocrisy, they don't know. You see, we have a long way to go. Like more than a long way. Well, at the end of the day, it's my opinion while I wait for yours. Don't forget it's Sweet of Sweet Tiger. I'll wait for your opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to like our page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, I'm your host, Tiger. See ya.